My camera is literally balanced on my bike. This is not cool. Hey! And welcome back to my YouTube channel. You've probably never been here before because I've never really been consistent with YouTube before, but hello! You're probably here from TikTok. Let's get to the point. So, this first video that I've promised you guys is on how to get a flat stomach. You're probably not going to like what I've got to say. I am a fully qualified and experienced CPT, qualified to give you this following advice. In my previous video, we discussed, this is on TikTok by the way, my previous TikTok video. When I say about the flat stomach doesn't technically exist, I mean like technically. Everyone carries some level of fat, obviously, even if it's like a minute percentage. Women often find more fat gathers in this area to protect organs. Like, we have organs we need to protect. Do you want kids? Then you want to protect these organs. Honestly, from someone who has endometriosis, that is essential. Whether you tell me that the flat stomach is more essential, when you've got your kids in your arms one day, you will not care. You will not care whether you had that flat stomach, because it doesn't matter anymore. And I know you're not going to like hearing me say this. I know. This is why I'm going to follow on with the advice, okay? So I'm going to guide you in how, obviously I'm quite thin naturally, tiny. So I've had to build muscle. I have kind of always had what you would call maybe a flat stomach. I've kind of always had that. Even when I've gained weight, I kind of gain weight at the bottom a little bit first, which wouldn't really be noticeable to anyone other than me. And then I would gain a little bit more across here, so it kind of evens out, so then it becomes flat again. So it's usually only in between either gaining weight or losing weight that I don't have a flat stomach. And you'll hear me saying it like this because I'm just not into it. Like, I'm just not into that at all. I just hate the concept and the idea of people feeling like they have to look a certain way. Honestly, this is why I'm so passionate about this industry, because it's just like, you shouldn't have to look a certain way. I understand you want to, and we all do. We all want to change ourselves. We all want to look slightly different potentially, and maybe, you know, become stronger, etc. So what I'm going to talk to you about is like an illusion. But you often ask me about the hourglass figure as well, right? You work on your shoulders and you work on your core, and your core includes your back, not just the front. We're talking your core. Some people don't realise, they just think it's just the like abs. No. Obliques, everything, all the internal muscles, all of it is your core, which you engage while you squat, deadlift, bench press, etc. You're pretty much always engaging your core. So if you're training well and you're doing your compound lifts, you're training your core. So when I say to you, train core pretty much all the time, like pretty much each time you train core, you train it anyway. So you don't need to train abs separately all the time. Although if you want to appear and you want to build on the muscle and you want it to appear like you have like the lines, etc., then it is often good because it obviously keeps them kind of pumped up. But again, it all comes down to overall body fat percentage, which again is something you're not going to like, because you can't spot reduce fat. You can't come to me and say, can I get rid of fat here? No, not strictly speaking. Can I get rid of fat here? No, not strictly speaking. However, it is achievable in the long term. It's playing around with your metabolism. If you're at a point now where you're wanting to lose weight and you're thinking to yourself, right, okay, I've lost so much weight already. I was happy with everywhere else, it's just my stomach, I want it to be more flat. And I get that a lot. Like, I get a lot of people messaging me this. If that is your hurdle, you need to stop focusing on it so much, which is gonna sound a little bit crazy, right? But often people who come to me and say they can't shift that weight at the lower stomach, often those people aren't actually eating enough. I know that sounds really weird, doesn't it? Like, really weird. And I'm not saying they're eating healthily. You might be eating below your maintenance calories, below your deficit calories. So, say for instance, my maintenance calories sit at about 2,100 calories usually, and my deficit would usually be 1,900, 1,800, maybe not that low because I don't think I can manage on that little food. If I was to eat 1,500 calories or something like that, I would not, and I mean I would not have the energy to exert optimum levels during my session. Therefore, I would not be getting the optimum gains from my session. Does that make sense? Like, I don't have that energy into my body to put out into my session to then get back from the session. Kind of with me? So like, you don't want to just be like, oh, let's drop calories and go on some mad diet and not have carbs. Carbs are good. Honestly, you need carbs. Please, please don't think carbs are bad. Don't think fats are bad. Everything in moderation is okay. We want maintenance calories, and then once you've sat at maintenance calories for long enough, you probably feel like your physique might be at its best point yet because you've sat at that consistent level each day for a long enough period, talking 4 weeks, 8 weeks, etc. And to be honest, at first you will probably have built a stronger core with maintenance calories. It depends when you say flat stomach how you want it to look. Like if you really want your abs to be like popping, you're probably going to want to go into a calorie surplus, which is slightly more calories than you need, and you're going to want to train abs obviously and core consistently in a surplus to grow the muscle, right? So that's not going to matter too much if we're just more about the flat stomach, because you'd probably get this from maintenance calories. I know a lot of you probably won't want to go into a surplus, which is understandable. It takes convincing, it takes one-to-one coaching, I think, for a lot of people to understand that and to feel comfortable with it. So once you've sat at that for a while, then what you're going to do is you're going to reduce very slightly, so literally like 200 calories, right? After maybe 4, 6, 8 weeks at maintenance, you're going to reduce it ever so slightly into calorie deficit. And you're going to literally just do what you've been doing. So training core consistently, 3, 4 times a week potentially. But when I say that, you're probably, if you're training like in the gym 5, 6 times a week, chances are pretty much every day you're engaging your core in some way. You know, you engage your core when you walk. Again, that's another thing to maybe focus on, is engage your core while you walk. Use your core to walk. Use your lower core to lift your legs. Honestly, it sounds mental, it sounds crazy, but when I worked at Tesco, I used to always blag my way onto the, what do you call it? The fast lanes, because obviously on the fast lanes I didn't have to sit at a till. And as you've noticed, I cannot stand or sit still, so I tend to want to walk. So I'd literally just walk up and down, up and down, up and down, right? And I would practice engaging my core. Now for me at the moment, it's not the easiest because obviously with endometriosis and the operation and everything flaring up so bad, I can't engage my lower core anywhere near as well as I could. Like I'd built it up over years and years and years and years. And for me at the moment, that is a struggle, which is quite hard for me because I've never come across that before, ever. So it creates a lot of lower back pain for me at the moment. But again, this will help with reducing lower back pain. You're engaging your core when you walk. Make sure when you like pick stuff up, you squat into it and you don't like bend over and start using your back and everything, because posture is also key. You've now in your calorie deficit, you're training core consistently, and you're gonna probably be there at this point, right? when I referred to the illusion, if you work on like your chest and your shoulders to be slightly bigger and also your posture's correct and you're upright, and then you're working on your glutes, not so you've got like hyperlordosis and your back's like crazy bent, but just so that you can engage your core in day-to-day life. Engage your core. Glutes, we work on the glutes so that they're looking rounder and the chest is looking like perkier, even if you don't have any boobs, like me. Then you create the illusion of a flat stomach. It doesn't have to be perfect, and honestly, right, it's never going to be perfect because it's not necessarily healthy. And the problem is, when I say you sit at this calorie deficit, you're not going to stick at that forever. Like, it's not maintainable forever. And some people really struggle in that deficit, like their period might stop, and that's not healthy. It just depends on personal opinion. For me, I can't really sit in a deficit for long because I have OCD, I have anxiety, and honestly my brain goes west, absolutely west in a calorie deficit. Like, no matter how hard I try, it's not even necessarily to do with like the food and everything, it's literally just my brain just like ticks mental away at me and I literally can't focus on anything. I can do it for like, you know, like a holiday or something. I'll often obviously go into a cut and like get like a bit shredded. I personally like to carry a bit more weight. It's just how I feel comfortable, it's how I feel strong, it's how I kind of show my presence. As you've probably noticed, I'm a very kind of loud and outgoing character. Even though I do suffer with crazy anxiety, I am very outgoing. With that comes kind of like a boldness, and for me, I feel comfortable carrying that bit more weight. What I want to emphasise is, please make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure you're doing it for you. Honestly, like, I spent so long obsessing, thinking that I needed to look a certain way forever, and when I got to that, I didn't even feel good. Like, this is what you have to realise. Like, I have pictures of me where I have a full-on six-pack. My brain, whoosh, not good. My social life, not good. Some people have more of a naturally flat stomach, and I'm one of those people, but when I was obsessing, that was about like having like a six-pack and abs and all that. I have a naturally kind of flat stomach, and that's not wrong. It's different. Everyone is different. And what you do have to understand is, again, why it's hard for me to give general advice just to any of you sat watching this, because if every single person ate exactly the same and trained exactly the same and had the exact same daily routine, we would all still look entirely different. That's why personal training and one-to-one is so important if you want to understand your body. Okay, I do have some online coaching opening up, but not many because I work a full-time job. I obviously create a lot of content, and my time, I know you guys are very much in demand of it at the moment, wanting the online coaching, and I am opening up some spaces, but I am definitely limiting it, okay? So at the moment this week I've got 3 spaces and I already have people after those spaces, not confirmed yet because it's only confirmed once they've paid, but those 3 spaces right now at this point are taken, and I will release a few more once they're in the swing of things, okay? So if you want online coaching with me, please register your interest. The quickest way to my attention is through email. So if you want my attention, you want online coaching, you're serious about that, email me, contact@robinhoskin.com. That's the quickest way to me. Like, my inbox and everything is like going mental at the moment, and I love you guys for it. It's so kind of you, and I really appreciate it. Honestly, like, you're blowing me away. Thank you so much. honestly, and I apologise if I don't get back to you. If you're really desperate for a reply, just please keep messaging me. And like I say, if you really want a reply, email me. Honestly, it's like a secret little thing. My emails are like texts to other people, whereas Instagram and everything, I get like so many things and like long messages and stuff. So yeah, email me with bullet points of what you're after and you'll get an answer quicker than probably most people. Yeah, thank you so much. I love you guys. Any content you want, let me know. Whatever you're after, please just keep feeding me with your ideas and I will cater to it. And please subscribe to my channel. Please. Thank you so much. If you haven't yet followed my Instagram, please follow my Instagram. It's just crazy that like TikTok's blown up and I have been working on Instagram for years and years. I have been working so hard on my Instagram for years and I would love it if you guys could help me get to 10k. That would be awesome. So thank you so much for your support, and like I say, anything you're after, please request and I can cater to it. You're so kind. Yeah, let me know. We've got a fitness Q&A coming, so get those questions asked and I will shout you out if I answer your question as well. Should be fun. That's going to drop on Sunday. And in the meantime, I will love ya and leave ya. Love ya. Oh, Instagram's Robin Hoskin Fit.